We have breaking news on the fire at the home of Portland City Councilor Candace Avalos. Portland police say they have arrested 51-year-old Vashon Locust. Police say video shows Locust entering a shed near Avalos' house to use an electrical outlet for a heater. When the outlet didn't work, Locust lit a small fire, which spread to the house. Locust faces multiple charges, including reckless burning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Evan Watson. Now at noon, another major change and contradiction from the federal government over providing food stamp benefits during the ongoing government shutdown. President Trump suggested this morning that the U.S. will not pay SNAP benefits until Congress passes a funding bill. This directly conflicts with what the Trump administration filed in court yesterday. Lawyers told a Rhode Island judge the federal government would pay about half of November's food assistance. But just a short time ago, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt walked back Trump's threat.
The administration is fully complying with the court order. I just spoke to the president about it. The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money because the Democrats have forced the administration into a very untenable position. We are digging into a contingency fund that is supposed to be for emergencies, catastrophes, for war. And the president does not want to have to tap into this fund in the future. And that's what he was referring to in his Truth Social post.
Oregon Senator Ron Wyden responded to Trump's post today, saying Donald Trump is the most powerful person in the world. Only a monster would use that power to force 42 million Americans to go hungry. Now let's take a look outside on this Tuesday. Some sun peeking through the clouds and not a terrible afternoon. Rod Hill is joining me now with a look at your weather. How are you, Rod?
You're an optimist. I like how you looked at that cloudy sky and you went, I feel some sun coming through. I tell you what, Evan, you are correct in that this is the best chance for the remainder of today to feel a little brightness because the clouds will get thicker and thicker as we go through the afternoon. We're at 55 degrees. It's certainly a comfortable morning. Here are the now afternoon. You see the thicker clouds. These are the ones starting to come up. And here's the latest on the timeline. The big headline today is this incoming rain later this afternoon into this evening. Here's Futurecast at 3 o'clock. Eugene, Salem, Tillamook, all perhaps starting to see a raindrop. And then by 5 o'clock, somewhere in there is when Portland's going to start to see the first batch of rain. So rain late today, rain this evening. Temperatures may go up a few more degrees. I mean, right now we're in the mid-50s. This shows us cooling down to 54 at 5 and rain in the area dropping us to 52 at 6 p.m. Evan, we do have the impact alert up for more stormy type weather the next 2 days. We'll get into that coming up in my complete forecast. Back to you.
Got it. Thank you, Ron. Today is Election Day. Local voters are weighing in on various ballot measures this election cycle. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz breaks down some of the key results to watch for.
Here in Multnomah County, the county and city are asking voters to approve and renew a levy for parks funding. If passed, the levy would provide around $86 million next year and more than $450 million over the 5-year lifespan of the levy. It'd be used to clean and maintain parks and preserve access to free and discounted classes and recreation programs. Though the measure could cause property taxes to increase by more than 3%. The median homeowner would pay about $310 a year. That's a $130 increase over what the current fee is. Still, Mayor Keith Wilson says the parks are worth the investment.
It's a difficult time, but we have to value the parks, and this is the time to really make sure that that value, that asset, is really high performing and well maintained.
Voters in Clark County have a couple of big decisions to make too, largely revolving around funding for police and fire. In Camas and Washougal, voters will decide whether or not to fund a regional fire authority. The Camas-Washougal Fire Department is the only one in Clark County currently running 2-person engines. The extra funds would allow the agency to instead have 3-person engines. The city of Washougal says the change would create higher levels of service and streamline operations. It costs about $1 for every $1,000 of assessed value of a property. And in Vancouver, voters will decide whether or not to fund 13 more police officers. The city's been, of course, growing in recent years, and since 2017, says dispatchers are receiving 24% more calls. That's led to longer response times. The measure would cost 15 cents per year for $1,000 of a home's assessed value. That's about $75 for a $500,000 home. And look, if you haven't gotten your ballots in yet, you got to do so soon. Those Dropbox sites close at 8 p.m. If you plan on mailing in your ballot, make sure that it's postmarked with today's date at the post office. In Multnomah County, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Police are looking for the men behind a robbery that turned violent and sent the owner of a Southeast Portland liquor store to the hospital. Catherine Cook takes us through the security video.
In Southeast Portland, it's business as usual at the liquor store on Southeast 52nd and Powell. A stark contrast to what happened here Friday night, Halloween. Around 6:45, security video shows 3 men walking in wearing masks. You can see them grab merchandise off the shelves before walking out without paying for it. At that point, you see the store's owner, a 73-year-old woman, according to family members, follow them outside. On Facebook, the owner's daughter, Jennifer Fuller, says her mom had hoped to take back some of what was stolen, but then things took a violent turn. It wasn't captured on camera, but Fuller says in a panic to protect her business, her mom reached into the suspect's car. She says they slammed the car door on her hand, causing her to fall, then dragged her through the parking lot before she could finally free her arm. Fuller says her mom suffered a traumatic brain bleed, a fractured skull, and several broken bones. Please pray for us for a miracle, Fuller wrote, that our amazing mom, who was in great health and has never had a broken bone in her young 73 years of life, can come through this. Police tell KGW the major crimes team is investigating the case. They didn't issue a description of the suspects, but here's another look at what the cameras captured. Loved ones hope anyone who's able will share these images, and that anyone who knows who these men are or what car they were driving will tell police. Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Portland police are also investigating 5 shootings from across the city this past weekend. 2 of them were deadly. Police found 1 person dead in a parking lot downtown, the other at a North Portland gas station, and at least 4 other people were also hurt during the weekend shootings.
Any loss of life, regardless of the circumstances, is a tragedy for us as a community, and it's something that we should never just have be a statistic or a number.
Chief Day says Portland has recorded 41 homicides so far this year. That's down compared to 62 around the same time last year.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
I would like to order a pizza.
Do you have an emergency? Just answer yes or no.
Yes.
Authorities say that 911 call of a person ordering pizza was actually a woman facing domestic violence and looking for help. We want to let you know we did alter her voice to protect the woman's identity. The call was made in July. Just last week, that call was used as evidence to help convict a Gresham man of assault. Prosecutors say a man and a woman had gotten into an argument that turned violent. The woman hid in a bedroom, called 911, and used those coded words referring to a pizza order to ask for help, something the dispatcher immediately picked up on.
Getting cases even to my office, I think, is difficult. A lot of times people just want the police to come, they want it kind of to go away, and they want the situation to be diffused, but even getting them to make the initial call sometimes is a lot.
National statistics show that 1 in 4 women will be a victim of a domestic violence assault. In this case, the assault was a Measure 11 felony and will come with a mandatory 70-month sentence. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, help is always available. You can call that number on your screen, 800-799-7233, to reach the National Domestic Violence Hotline 24/7. You can also text 88788. Here's a look at some of our national headlines this afternoon. 2 men are facing federal charges for allegedly planning a terror attack on Halloween weekend in Michigan. During a raid of their homes and a storage unit, federal investigators say they found multiple AR-15 style rifles, shotguns, handguns, and more than 1,600 rounds of ammunition, as well as tactical gear. The FBI alleges the 2 men previously went to Ferndale, Michigan, where many clubs and bars attract members of the LGBTQ community, to scout locations for a possible attack. To video from Florida, where a boat caught fire just off the coast. Helicopter videos show crews trying to put out the flames, but that boat was destroyed. 2 passengers on the boat were safely rescued by the Coast Guard. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. And three-time Academy Award nominee Diane Ladd has died at the age of 89. She's most known for her performances in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, Wild at Heart, and Rambling Rose. Ladd's death was announced by her daughter, Oscar-winning actress Laura Dern. There's no word yet on her cause of death. And those are your national headlines.